concept behind this film is capturing these candid, unplanned moments and how that creates the best photographs.
So classic Emmett call, phones you up and he says, hey, you wanna go somewhere cool? Always a yes, of course.
I heard about this project in a very vague phone call that sounded really epic.
I was sitting in bed having a morning coffee and I get a call from Emmett.
I said yes right away.
I just said yes and got on a plane 4 days later.
Last time was Norway with Sony, this time was around the world. So with this film, we really wanted to show a diversity in culture and landscape.
We were picking countries that we wanted to shoot this project in, and I was at his house and we were looking at the map on the wall, pointing at different countries, what countries are close enough together that we could fit into this schedule, what countries are diverse enough that we can pair them together and we get a big variety.
It's all in the technique, so when you're spinning, you just shoot the pinky out to where you actually want to go.
And Kenya, Nepal, and Turkey really had that for us.
Istanbul!
There were so many unplanned, hilarious moments on the streets of Istanbul.
That's it.
The selection of lenses Sony gave us for the project were really interesting.
When Emmett first called me up, he said we have to shoot this whole piece on Sony's 1.4 prime lens series. Originally, I thought that was going to be a bit of a challenge, but it ended up spurring some creativity. They're very beautiful lenses, nice bokeh, depth of field is stunning.
The 24 allowed us to capture all the chaos of some of these city streets and bustling markets, and then the 85 allowed us to narrow in on our main characters. And then that shallow depth of field really helped us separate them from the background.
So typically we use pretty big cinema setups, which involves a first AC, a second AC, a focus unit, all of which we didn't really have time for on this project as it had to be run and gun and nimble. With the Burano, we're able to lose the focus unit and the first AC and go full autofocus on this one because we weren't held back by a big crew.
Coming from other Sony FX line cameras, the Burano was super intuitive to use and it was such an easy jump to make, but at the same time gained so much image quality.
Being run and gun, there's a lot of movement. You're going to get bumped, you're going to get knocked in the busy streets. So having IBIS is really important in those run and gun situations.
Throughout shooting this film, it was really special to see these moments that transcended a language barrier, where your camera became that tool for translation, and it allowed us to communicate through these shared emotions of joy and excitement with locals around the world, and just get these really meaningful moments where they'd come up to us and thank us after we take their photo, or just get so excited to review some video with us that we had just filmed of them. The new 85mm f1.4 version 2 G Master lens is incredible. It's such a fast autofocus with such a shallow depth of field. I think it's like 3 times faster than the old version.
The lightweight, compact size of it made shooting portraits on the go very easy.
That old version's been out since 2016, so there's a lot of technology improvements over the last 8 years. On the Burano, paired with that 85mm lens, it was so easy because the Burano's got autofocus. That new lens is really fast autofocus. Everything just aligned perfectly to be able to capture those candid moments. But in order to capture these candid moments that we set out for, you kind of need to have that element of spontaneity. We got a phone call from our heli pilot that the weather's cleared up in the Himalayas and we got to be at the airport in 17 minutes.
I'm scrambling around, I'm calling everyone in the crew, I'm like, you guys gotta be back at the hotel, we gotta leave now.
We're gonna go stay in Lukla tonight, which is at the foothills of the Himalayas. We've been to the airport, this is our 3rd time in the past 2 days, and we've been skunked by the weather every single time.
Using the 85mm version 2 paired with the A7R5 was really great for on-the-go portraits and all the candid street portraits that I wanted to take. So making the 85 20% lighter really helped not lose that interaction and personal moment with my subjects.
When we first decided that Nepal was one of the countries we were going to, I had no idea that we were going to take a heli flight.
How happy are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I say 10.
It was worth every second of waiting. It was incredible.
The Burano produces one of the best images I've ever seen. It has a very rich color profile, it's 16-bit.
At the end of every shooting day, I was super excited to get on the laptop and start grading the Burano footage. The richness and the colors that came out of that footage was absolutely stunning.
I guess the essence of this trip is it allowed for a lot of spontaneity. And so we managed to do these things that I don't think we really planned for originally, and they actually just came to fruition.
At the end of the day, this film was one of the most chaotic 2 weeks of my life in the best way possible. Incredibly rich cultures and landscapes, from the bustling streets of Istanbul to the tallest mountains on earth in the Himalayas, and then 36 hours later we land in the Masai Mara in Kenya and are greeted by this incredible Maasai dance at one of these villages. It was just the biggest whirlwind, and such a fantastic crew paired with that allowed us to just capture this film in the best way possible, because all those pieces need to come together to create this special story that you're going to see in the film.